Hello, my name is Kaludelo Sevi. Today I'm going to talk about a user story that can be used to get some information for the user using programming and coding. So first of all, I would like to talk about the user story that we have. My user story is basically looking at some genetic data from the sequencing that the user can do, and if he gets some information about the variation of any genetic mutation, and he would like to see this variant, if there is any information regarding this variant. Okay, I'm using this just for breast cancer. Usually the user has information about the variant, so he would like to see if this variant could be validated using variant validator. And also, if he put the variant, he could see the gene name as well. When he gets the gene name, basically, I'm trying to get more information about the gene from NCBI. So to get the gene information from the NCBI, we need gene ID, which it's very easy to get it from NCBI website. So then the user will put the gene ID and recall some information from NCBI about this gene. All the information going to back to the user. So at the end, the user will see some information about this variant and which gene associated with this variant, and also some information regarding this gene from NCBI. What I've done to do that, to do the project, I started first to install only the software, including Python and other software that I can use it for the coding, and then I create an account in GitHub. In the GitHub, I just made I made repository, so this repository will be used to save all the files. Also, I create a folder in this desktop, so it's very easy to connect your folder to your repo by creating a desktop, by creating a file on desktop, and using the terminal, you can just connect these folders with the GitHub repo. After that, I start to make files, HTML files. So I would like to put some design of these codes, just making one web page. So I code I made some code just to make design for the web page. And then I make code using Python. These codes basically to know more information about the variant and the gene. During this step, made the branches, so to make more than one branch that will be easy to work separately, and then I pull the request and commit all the changes. To start with, I'm going to just show you that the GitHub repo that already created, and this is the link for my repo. Usually I put at the beginning, we put in README some information about breast cancer, some information about me and about the user that he's going to use this coding to get some information about breast cancer. Also, I use, as I said, the terminal to connect to the GitHub with the folder that I have. And after I finish, I made the branches. I made the branches, and after I finish, I commit all changes. In this repo, you'll see basically more than one file, some of them related to the design as HTML or a logo or different files, and some of them, they do have a Python files that they do have the code. The other software that I use for coding, I use Visual Studio. I like the software to make like an easy code. When I install a Visual Studio, then I use it basically with another extension as well. So mainly I install a free extension in Visual Studio. I install a Python, so it's going to be easy for me to make the code. And then to see this code and to run the code, also I install CodeRunner. And I choose the option of Run in Terminal. The other extension I already installed it's called Live Server. This is going to be like really nice extension to see the web page that I made using HTML, so you can see it live after you code. This is how it looked like when I did the design for the web page. So basically, this is how the Visual Studio looked like. And I made some code and I tried to make the design, putting the logo is like I created, and I called this web page hotspot, which means that I'm looking for hotspot as hotspot variant in any genes that related to breast cancer. So when you run Live Server, you can just see this web page as you see here. And also I made that creating an account using the username and password for the user. So this is one file as HTML. The other file I used that Python, which I put a code using Python. Again, I use the Visual Studio. As you see here, I just put some information like kind of introduction for the hotspot website. Basically, what I did here in Python, I'm going to show you live in the code that I made. But basically, what I'm trying to make is like a few code to pull some information from the patient first, from the user itself, and then looking at the variant information from variant validator and NCPI. To look for this information from variant validator and NCPI, I need to use API URL address. So I got the URL address just for a transcript, as you see here, from variant validator. So it's going to be enough for me to get the gene name for the variant that I have. And for NCPI, actually, they do have a base URL and more than one URL. One of them, which is easy to get, it's only using NCPI ID. So basically, I use this URL to put then to use it with the NCPI ID, and then we will pull the information. All this requested information, I try to get the response using JSON. Then I put, as I said, I installed CodeRunner extension, so I can run the code and see it. Actually, when I run the code, as I show you first, I do the live server for the HTML. For the Python, I run the code to make sure that there's no error. And also, I make sure all the variables are entered as required. All the response, all the response from API that I already requested, I got the same information I'm looking for. At the end, and I commit all the changes, and I push all changes that I made, and then everything has been saved in the repo. For example, I'm going to show you one variant, which is for a gene that we're going to look at it using our code. Here is that variant I have. So basically, what I'm going to show you now is the code itself here that I have. I put some information, and then putting some information, and then looking at the account for the user. and then just put the variant. We'll put the variant, and then we will get the information from variant validator. After this, we can put the gene ID and to call the information from NCBI. So to run this code, just to show you here, I'm going to run the code here. After you save it. So I'm going to run it now and look at the code that we will have after I run. Okay, I just clear out everything to run it again. I think that's why it takes time. Okay, now it says here the first introduction hotspot is a website that has been created to help researchers and physicians to know more about the genetic variation. And then create an account. I'm just going to put my name here. And then press enter, and then give me enter your email. I'm going to put my email. Sorry. Gmail.com. And then after that, you're going to tell me, hello, Claude, a confirmation email will be sent to your email. Actually, I did not activate this email confirmation, but just it's a message. Then it asked me to enter the gene variant. So the gene variant here, we're going to use the transcript GBS expression. So I'm going to put the variant here, and we'll see if we can collect data about this variant. I will just copy paste the variant. So it gives me this information, says this gene, or the gene is a Homo sapiens BRCA1 DNA repair associated with BRCA1 transcript, and give me some information about transcript and its non-coding RNA. And then ask me about the ID. So I know now I have this BRCA1. So since I know it's a BRCA1 for a human, it will be easy to get the ID. Just we'll go to NCBI. And just put BRCA1 human, you can get the ID. I have the ID here on the website now. I just put it 672. I'm going to put 672, and then press run to see if it works. Actually, something happened here. Okay. So the information I'm trying to pull is coming from the URL for the NCBI. It's easily if you just copy paste. I think I already tested and it works, but maybe there's something happening here in the code. It didn't come back. But I tested in the website itself. When I put the link, the URL. 672 here, and then I just press enter. Can see information about that BRCA1. So I was looking at the summary here, so that's why when I pull the data and the response, I just choose summary, and I need to see all this information, the summary here. So that's all. It's a few codes that I would like to see, and I hope these few codes can help. Thank you very much.